Okay, great. So today we are continuing on the topic monetization made simple. And I'm sharing some practical concepts and insights, from my book. My upcoming book should be up by this weekend on monetization. The reason is this is like the equivalent of the gold rush. Technology, a combination of technology and the explosion of AI and tools and different frameworks have made it very, very easy for anyone in any part of the world with internet connection and a smartphone to access financial freedom. So financial freedom has been democratized. Okay, so type it in the comment section, everyone, and on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, we are live in all these platforms. So type in the comment section, financial freedom has been democratized. Type it, everyone. Financial freedom has been democratized. So all those reasons that we used to give ourselves, all those excuses that we used to make about why we are struggling financially or why we are poor, all those excuses have been obliterated because we live in the golden age of monetization. So financial freedom has been democratized because of monetization. So the title of my book is actually Monetization Made Simple: How to Turn Your Knowledge into Income and Create a Life of Abundance. And it includes step-by-step frameworks and ready-to-use worksheets to be able to implement, because the important thing I've always stressed is not the information that I'm giving you. The most important thing is being able to implement it. Okay, so many of us have not been profiting from our expertise, and there are several reasons why we are not profiting from our expertise. So literally every one of us here on the call has some knowledge, some expertise, some gift, some talent that you were born with. You were capitalized at birth. In other words, all the things, all the resources, all the time, all the energy, all the network of people, of individuals and contacts that you need to fulfill your purpose, all of that you were born with it. So you were capitalized before you were born. You were capitalized at birth. And the main vehicle of your capitalization is your gift, your talent, your uniqueness, your special way of doing things, your identity. So your capitalization is in your identity. And I have been coaching people for decades. I've been doing this work for years. I've been on television for 5 years, coaching millions of people across the continent via cable television. I've written books about it. I've worked with CEOs. I've worked with, leaders of big organizations. And I find the same common thread. We were all capitalized. Everybody has experience. Everybody has something very unique about them that they can share. And so what I've discovered is your capitalization and your identity are tied. They are very, very tightly tied. They are connected. And this is why when I teach the 4 P's of wealth, the first P is purpose. So the first P is purpose, because all the wealth that you ever need is tied to purpose. Therefore, when you do not know your purpose, when you've not discovered your purpose, why you are here, You struggle financially. But the moment you understand your identity and your purpose, you cease struggling financially because you were capitalized and your identity is the vessel of your capitalization. So the more you understand who you are, the more you understand the purpose for which you are here, the freer you become, financially speaking, and then the less anxiety you have about money. Okay, so you were capitalized at birth, and it doesn't matter your condition, it doesn't matter your background, you have something that you can teach the world. And so people struggle to monetize their knowledge, their experience, their expertise, because they doubt themselves. People often ask themselves, is my knowledge even valuable enough for other people to pay for it? And you say, I'm just a little fellow born in one poor African village. Nobody knows me. So who is even willing to pay for it? And I see some young ladies, some young women, they produce so much content on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube from their village in Uganda. I don't know how many of you have seen those young women. They are making a lot of money. I just saw a clip of one of their videos. Someone was inviting them to leave the village and come over to France. And they said, we are not suffering and we are not complaining, that we are good in the village here. Life is very good. So from those villages in Kenya, those villages in Uganda, these young girls, I think one of them is called Gladys. Has any of you seen them? Has any of you seen their work? They are right there in the village. They don't have to be in France. They don't have to be in the UK. They don't have to be anywhere in America. But right there, they are teaching, they are providing content, they are sharing the traditional values, the way they cook in the village, the way they marry, the way they make ceremonies, how they use cows to pay for bride price and things like that. And people from all over the world, Japan, people from Germany, Russia, America, Canada, everywhere are watching these people, these young girls in Uganda, in their village, no special attire, no special studio equipment for something. They just take pictures around their village streams, pictures around their where they are cooking outside, pictures around their lives with the chicken and goats and things like that. You know, so people are asking, people second guess themselves, you know, who can buy what, am I knowledgeable or valuable enough for people to pay for it? So if people can pay to watch village life in Uganda, rural village, Uganda, paying, and not only that, people are paying to watch them, the young women are making lots of money. They are fantastically monetized. The platform pays them. YouTube pays them lots of money. Facebook pays them. TikTok pays them. And they don't have to leave that rural village in Uganda. The other question people ask themselves is, why would someone buy from me when there are experts out there? Has this affected anybody? Has anybody felt that way? You know, you find yourself feeling there are better experts than myself. You know, why would anybody buy from me? Has it happened to anybody? Just say me, all right? So people second guess themselves. There are better people than me and things like that. And that is not a valid reason to rob you of this golden opportunity of monetization. That's not, because the truth is there's no one like you. There might be 1,000 experts doing the sort of work I'm doing, but no one does it like me. No one does it like me. So my uniqueness is my value proposition. Your uniqueness is your value proposition. So you're bringing your identity, you're bringing your style to the table. And so a lot of people, I like one of the writers of scripture. He was a medical doctor by the name of Luke. So some of you may have read his account of the gospel. And it's interesting the way Luke started his gospel. He said, listen, Theophilus, many people have undertaken to write all the things that Jesus began to do and to teach. Does anybody remember that? The Ezra principle. You study, you practice, you teach. So Luke says that people have written account for all the things that Jesus began to do and to teach. But he said, so he said, it's true that a lot of people have written about this. But he said, it still seemed right and logical and necessary for me, after having done my own private research about the figure, about the historical figure, Jesus, to also write my own observation. So it doesn't matter that 1,000 people are doing what you are doing. No one can do it the way you do it. So yes, people are going to pay you. People are going to pay for your content. The other reason people give is, I'm not a salesperson. How do I convince people to buy from me? We will deal with that as time goes on. None of us was actually born a salesperson. And I used to be very, very, I didn't want to, because of the impressions that we have had about selling, and those impressions are wrong. You know, we've had this because we have bought things from salespeople who cheated us. We've bought things, they convinced us to buy, only for us to get home and discover that what they sold to us was fake. And so because of that, we don't want to be that kind of people, that kind of person. But that's not what selling is about. Selling is the most noble profession on earth. Yeah, selling is the most noble profession on earth. Do you know why? Because nothing happens until something is sold. Nothing moves in the world until something is sold, until an object is sold, until a service is sold, until an idea is sold. Nothing moves. The world is one huge cellosphere. I just made up that one. I don't know. It's one huge market, one huge cellosphere. Or is it verse? Verse. It's not the universe, is a verse. Okay. And so why? Because as a salesperson, I have discovered a solution to people's problem. And so I would be a wicked person if I do not sell the idea, if I do not sell those techniques, if I do not sell the things that will help people to come out of disease, come out of poverty, come out of weakness and things like that. So selling is a noble profession, you know, and the only way to get out of your financial struggle right now, like the most guaranteed way, is to sell something. You're just one sale away from financial struggle. Okay, so that is very, very important. Omana says, teach us financial literacy, capital markets, powers, vision, and stock market. Okay. Omana, I'm not sure how long you have followed on this platform, but we do have so many videos and tutorials on exactly that. And, you know, since we started talking about the stock market, for instance, you know, at least 500 people have started investing. I'm just being very conservative. At least 500 to 1,000 people have started investing, become aware of the stock market. So what I will advise you to do is go to my YouTube channel. There is a playlist on stock market. There is a playlist. There are almost 540 videos on financial literacy, on all these things you listed. They are all there. On building your business, scaling your business. They are all there. So you can always catch up from where you join us. So go to my YouTube channel, see all those videos, all those things you're talking about, they're already there. And then we are going to do this for 1,000 days. So what I'm doing right now, the free coaching that people usually pay, literally thousands of dollars organizations pay to have me come coach their people. I'm offering it for free for 1,000 days. The day I started, it costs me a lot. It doesn't cost you anything, but it costs me a lot. It cost me a lot. First of all, I had to get Starlink, and I pay 159,000 every single month, for Starlink to be able to make this happen, just to make sure that you are not disappointed any evening and that I'm here. There's so many other costs to do this, but I'm happy to do it. So go to my YouTube channel. There are hundreds of videos that teach you how to make money, how to manage money, how to invest money in the financial market, and also how to run your businesses. Okay, so now there is a lot of profit potential for your knowledge and expertise, whatever it is. And the online education industry by 2027, in 2 years' time, is projected to hit $500 billion. $500 billion. So there's enough, for all of us, for everybody on this call, for everybody listening to this on YouTube, Facebook, Zoom, TikTok, there's more than enough. This is a huge market. And actually, we are if you like, we are still at the base of the opportunity. And so this is a very good time to get into the creator economy. This is a very good time to get into the monetization economy because it's a very huge market. And the other interesting thing is that AI and automation are making it easier than ever to package and sell knowledge. Okay, one of the days we'll talk about packaging your knowledge, storytelling, and all that. There's so many AI tools, video tools, writing tools, sound editing tools, all kinds of things that make it so easy. So certain things, for instance, in video editing or content generation or even research that would have taken, like if I was certain researches that I have at the tip of my finger, that people would charge me $5,000 to do for me just 10 years ago, just 7 years ago. I remember when I was living Shell, I remember a company charging me 4 million naira to do a business plan. That's crazy. And I remember also in those days, when people were building, in fact, I remember someone charging me millions to build my website. I paid the guy 1.3 million naira with receipts. And then he ended up not building the website. So, but he just kept on asking me for money. Today he would say, oh, we need this plugin. How much? He will tell me, okay, it's 250,000. I'll give him. Next day, he say he needs his plugin. At the end of it, he didn't build it, and I had wasted 1.3 million naira on the guy. That was when the naira was really good. Not today that the currency is sort of messed up. But today, an AI can generate a website for me within the click of a button. All I need to do is feed it the information. It will ask me what is the name of this business? What product are you going to sell? What is it going to do for people? Who are you trying to reach? Basic questions. And I feed in all those details. And then I say click. And it will generate a full website in 30 seconds with pictures and videos and everything. So we are living in a time when you no longer have excuse not to monetize your knowledge or to monetize your expertise because the tools are amazing. And then the most amazing thing is that most of these tools are free. So many of us remind me of a book I read sometime in the 1980s. It went by the title, The Prison Doors Are Open. What are you still doing inside? I feel like I should pause and then just have you type it in the comment section. That's an aha moment. with regards to the golden age of monetization that we are in, the prison doors are open. What are you still doing inside? Can somebody type that quote? The prison doors are open. What are you still doing inside? The AI is all over the place, very, very free. Research, you go to Kimi AI, or you go to DeepSeek, or you go to ChatGPT, you can access incredible research just at the click of a button. What are you waiting for? What are you complaining about again? Just one prompt in ChatGPT, and then you can get everything that you need. So it's actually very easy. And then the other thing is the social media gives you access to a global audience without advertising cost. Do you know 20 years ago, 30 years ago, for you to get on TV, because I was on TV, I was on live TV between 1999 and 2004. Before that time, in fact, around that time, I still remember one television station. For you to go live, for the television station to come and cover you live, these guys were charging for about 4 million naira or so for 1 hour. At that time, 4 million, the naira was less than 100 to the dollar. So you do the math. So 4 million for 1 hour to cover your live event for 1 hour. That 4 million at that time was $40,000 for 1 hour for the particular television station, because we wanted to do something. That's how I got to know that figure. And then they say, yeah, for them to come live and then cover your event, that was going to be 4 million for 1 hour. So if they covered your event for 5 hours, that was 20 whopping million. At the time, that was 200,000 naira. Was that correct? Yeah, 20 million. Yeah, would be 200,000 naira dollars to cover your event for 5 hours. Today, I am doing this live free, as it were. I'm not paying anybody. I'm the same thing. And so if I'm doing my my event, like I was in my farm the other day and I was broadcasting to the whole world, if I had called that television station in those days, say, come to my farm, and show how I'm harvesting my organic cassava, they would have charged me millions. But it didn't cost me anything. I just turned on my phone. It's just data, little data. Turned on my phone and then pressed live. And I was on live TV and the whole world was seeing it. Meanwhile, their own in those days, it was just going to be broadcast to, within the nation. So you have no excuse. The prison doors are open. What are you still doing inside? The opportunities are incredible. The opportunities are incredible. So the only thing standing between you and a thriving knowledge-based business is a system, okay? A system that allows you to package your skills and to sell them effectively. So that's really what is stopping you. And then this is what this book is about. This is what these sessions over the next couple of days are about. A system to package your knowledge and also to sell it effectively, to monetize what you know and to make money from what you know, what you already know. Okay, so today I'm going to share a few ideas from chapter 1 of the book, Monetization. How much do you need to live well and how to make it happen? This chapter is part of the reason I wrote this book. Do you know why? Because people begin by, typically will begin their books by sharing tactics and, giving you tactics and giving you lots of information. But I found out, from my own experience and then from having worked with thousands of people, worked with them on their businesses and then on their personal finance, that the best place to start your wealth creation journey is the numbers. Start with numbers. Okay. YouTube, type it. Everybody, type it. Start with number. Start with the number, or start with numbers. Or actually, let me say, start with the number. Start with the number. Everybody, type it. Start with the number. That is the place to start. With the numbers, that's the place to start. Start with the number. Okay? You know why? I want you to imagine, a football pitch. Just imagine a football pitch. I'm looking for my Zoom window. Okay. Just a second. So imagine a football pitch that has no goalpost. Okay, so that's what happens, when we try to build wealth, or we start with a number, we start our wealth journey and we don't have a number that we are looking for. So if you start with a number, two things happen. Number one, you are driven by the why. Simon Sinek wrote a very brilliant book a couple of years ago. He said, start with why. And I'm saying, start with the number. Okay, so Simon Sinek said, start with why. Obo says, start with the number. Because the number automatically deals with the why. Now, why do you start with the number? If you don't know exactly how much you need to live well, you need to start with, what does living well actually mean for you? If you don't start with the number, you can arrive and not know that you've arrived. Because one of the strangest phenomena I have witnessed is that people are already financially free, but they do not know it. There is a percentage. It might be a tiny percentage, but there is a percentage in our society who are already financially free, but they have no idea. They don't know it. So every day they are still anxious. They are still struggling, toiling, wearing themselves out to make a living. Do you know why they don't know that they're already financially free? Because they don't have their number. They don't know the number. And see, when you don't know the number, you will continue to toil endlessly, and then it will affect your strategy. So you start with the number. And to start with the number, the first thing is actually to define what living well means to you. It's very similar to the exercise I give my clients. I tell people to define what success means to them. You see, because if I define what success means to me, I will not be looking at the Joneses. I will not be looking at my neighbor. I will not be comparing myself to my neighbor. I will not be, he bought Mercedes 230 the other day, brand new. And I am driving a Toyota 2001. There's no basis for that comparison, because I've defined what success means to me. So it makes it easy for my journey. And so people also come to the social media and then they show us all kinds of opulence, flamboyant life, They show us their big mansions and then their big cars. And it's causing the young people who have no self-restraint to do evil, because they want to become like all these people who show them, these trappings of wealth, or these semblances of wealth on social media. But if you define what success means to you, then you focus on it and then do your journey. Because success, what they are showing me, what people are showing on social media, that's not success to me. All those, Lamborghinis and big mansions, and then women, that's not success to me. It's not. So good luck to them. They have defined it. And then, like they say, we listen, we don't judge. I'm not judging them, but that's their whatever, that's their own. But success to me is so different. Success to me is having a very, very peaceful marriage and then loving relationship, with my wife, that I'm really loving her and creating space for her to continue to thrive, helping her to become all that God created her to be. Seeing myself in that husband role, like a real husband, nurturing her to become all that she can be. Success to me is raising godly children, children who are godly, who make godly choices everywhere they are, who are very respectful to their elders, children who are not, who uphold the values of the family, values of integrity, of honesty, of purity, of respect, of impact, and all these things. That's success to me. Success to me is that by the time I'm exiting this earth, that I would have left a mark across different continents. That's success to me. So if I wake up every day, I'm doing this, and I look at my family, my marriage, and it's happy, it's doing well, I'm successful. I wake up every day, I see my children, that they're making godly choices, they're very respectful, they are very diligent, they are making impacts in the different parts of the world where they live. I'm so excited. When I wake up and I see children I've adopted, they're not my biological children that I've adopted from different parts of the world in Africa, and they're doing well. And then Jacqueline, one of my daughters, just, in Ghana, just sent a message today. I'm looking for my phone. Actually, that's the one that you're using to watch TikTok. And then she sent a message and she said, "Oh, Daddy, how are you? I'm just checking on you." That's success to me. So it's not coming to show you big mansions and showing you big cars and showing you private jets. That's absolutely ridiculous to me. So I can't envy them and I can't go there. So your first task, and then what we're going to round off with today, is to define, what does living well mean to you? That is the foundation of financial success. What does living well mean to you? Because at the end of it, the secret is, it's not money that you're looking for. Many of us think it's money that we need. Money is just at the front end of what we all need. Many of us want to be happy. And then we have been falsely programmed to think that, oh, to be happy, I need money. But what you really want is to be happy. Okay? So we confuse it. And then say, to be happy, I need money. Okay? Then you make 1 million. You say, oh, to be happy, I need 3 million. You make 3 million. Oh, I'm not happy. To be happy, I need 10 million. Oh, I have 10 million now. I'm still not happy. To be happy, I need 100 million. And then you spend your life like that, pursuing the happiness. And the money never gives it to you, because that's not the purpose of money. Money has its purpose in the first instance. So you want to define what being happy means to you. You want to define what living well means to you. When I did this exercise, goodness gracious me, living well meant I don't have any cause, any reason to go to the hospital. No single reason to go and spend the night in the hospital. That's living well to me. Because why should I go? Why should I go to the hospital? Why should I go and be admitted for 1 day, 24 hours in the hospital? That is horrible. Horrible. Just lying down like that, moaning. My stomach, my this thing. No, that's not living well to me. So my living well means I don't go to the hospital. I'm healthy. I have energy. That at 80, I have the same energy I had at 40. Okay, so I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months. Still have the energy I had at 22. That's living well to me. Living well to me means mobility. I can move. I can I can move my body. I'm not sluggish. When I move, I'm smart. So living well, therefore, means eating good food, eating organic, eating good food I know, high quality food from the source once in a day. Now, living well also means joyful relationships, in my family, joyful relationships in the community. That's living well, connecting. I have the most amazing gift of friends, the best friends any human being can ask for. I have friends that are close as it were. My younger brothers are really very close. My brothers are very close, but I have friends that are as close as my blood brothers, and I have young men, who are extremely talented and gifted, who support my work. They support my work. I call them. They are here. I call them anytime. I need your help with this. Fantastic, amazing. They execute. Like one of them can do the work of 10 people. That's living well. Living well to me means I'm at peace with my neighbors. In the residential estate, I'm at peace with them. Living well, means I can sleep well at night. There's no guilt, there's no guilty conscience. There's no bitterness. There's nobody. There's no enemy that I have to say fall and die. That's living well to me. Do you know that all these things I've mentioned, do you know I haven't mentioned money? So this is why you need to define what living well means to you. And then it is after you've defined it, you go ahead to get the number. If you don't define what living well means to you, you will struggle constantly financially. You will continue to pursue money. You will never get it. Money comes to those people who don't even pursue it. Okay? So you've got to define what living well means to you. So forget the generic definitions of living well. It's about your life. So it's about your dreams. It's about your financial reality. So for some people, living well means owning a home, just owning their own house. In London, they have one in London. They have one in Houston. They have one in Accra. They have another one in Caribbean. That's living well. That's fine for them. Okay. Living well might mean breaking free from paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to wake up 4 a.m. every morning to go tell somebody, okay, sir, I'm present, and to clock in your name, and then you only earn money when somebody gives you that money called salary, all right, which some people have described as drugs. So living well might mean I no longer want to live paycheck to paycheck. I want to be in control of my time. I want to be able to express my love for the arts, for music, for painting, not to spend it living paycheck to paycheck, okay? And then living well might be the freedom for you to pursue your passion project. I met a woman. That woman, at the time I met her, she was about 65, 66 in the United States, in New Jersey. So we had gone for a conference. And then after that, we were invited, to her home. And this woman said that her life's dream was to start an outreach for girls in Benin City in Edo State. I think she's from that state. So all her life, as she was leaving for America, God knows when, maybe she'd been there for like 30 years or something, she had always dreamt that she would go back and then help these girls to resettle them, to prevent, there's something associated with the young ladies from that part of the world. And so she wanted to reach out to them. And then she was telling me, almost with tears in her eyes, that she will never be able to do that again. Why? Because she was owing a lot of debt. She took, her daughter had taken student loan, or she had taken student loan for her daughter to go to medical college. And as of that time, it was over $280,000 that she was still owing. And she never saw herself being able to pay that off. I was also wondering why the daughter, wouldn't pay that off. But for some of you who live in America, you know what that student loan thing does to a lot of people. So I hear that many people never pay it off until they die. In their 60s, they're still owing. I don't know how they collect it after the person dies or something. So living well might be that you're free from debt. You're free from debt. So for some of you who are owing, who are in debt, you know how terrible it feels. You don't feel like you own your life. You just always feel that like somebody owns you. So it's not possible to be in that kind of debt and to live well. As of that time, she was in three different jobs. So her passion project was dead. So what does living well mean to you? And there are a couple of ideas what you can do. So the first step is to break down your dream lifestyle. You get specific. If you could design your ideal life, what would it include? So you might include your housing, your transport, education, food, entertainment, travel, family and giving, supporting your relatives, charity. It might include savings and investment. Okay, so these are the things that you consider in your dream lifestyle. And then I shared a case study of Tolu, a 32-year-old digital marketer in Lagos, and then he wants a comfortable life. He wants to live well. And this is what she estimates. Rent in a good neighborhood, for her to live well, she needed 3 million naira a year. That's paying 250,000 a month. Okay, her car expenses, her food, her giving. So she found out that for her to be able to live well, that her number was 1.25 million, 1,250,000 per month. That's her number. That's her number. Some of you have this number, but because you've not taken time to put it down, you don't even know that you have that kind of number. And I'm going to tell you why it's very powerful that you find your number. So, because the key is to calculate your own number, and you can call it your freedom number. In other words, if this income, if 1.25 million is coming into Tolu's wallet every single month, she will live her dream life, because that thing includes the money that she'll be saving and investing for her future. It includes the money she's supporting her relatives with. It includes for her health, insurance, and all kinds of things. You've got to calculate this number before we even talk about monetization. Okay? So now your monthly lifestyle cost is also what is called your monthly lifestyle cost. And you want to add an emergency buffer of 20%. So in Tolu's case, if you add 20% to that, it means that she should actually be looking for 1.5 million naira a month. And it is after you have that we now begin to ask the question, how do we create monetization strategies to generate that? So you need to find your number. Don't be vague. What is that your monthly lifestyle number? Okay. Everybody type monthly lifestyle cost. Monthly lifestyle cost. And I'm actually interested in knowing how many people know their monthly lifestyle cost. You really need to know your monthly lifestyle cost. I know mine. So the months I don't hit it, it shows. Because if your monthly lifestyle cost is 1.5 million, and then you're earning 500,000, then you're in trouble. So now in calculating your monthly lifestyle cost, I don't want you to calculate as is now, because you're struggling right now. So it will end up becoming your monthly struggle cost. No, I'm talking about your life. Ideally, what does living well? So even if right now you are earning 500,000 naira a month, don't configure your monthly lifestyle cost to 500. Go beyond that 500 to say, what is it really that if I'm living well, I'm paying my children's education, paying rent, traveling and all that. What would it cost? What would it amount to in a month? You need to have your monthly lifestyle cost. If I meet you on the road and ask you, what is your monthly lifestyle cost? You should know. I know mine. I know mine to the kobo, to the cent in dollars. And then any month I'm not meeting it, it shows, it reflects immediately. Any month I don't meet it, it reflects. Okay, so I have things including like now I've got to add, internet. Internet is really very expensive in this part of the world, internet, travel, the cost of running my truck. Okay, I drive a truck because of the work I do, and the truck uses diesel. So I know what it costs me in a month. And at the end of the month, if I don't meet it, it shows, it affects something. Then I don't live well as I should within that month. Okay. And so when you have found your number, the next thing would now be to reverse engineer your monetization model. So once you have your freedom number, the next step is to figure out how to hit it, because that's the next logical question. But you see, why it is ridiculous not to know your number is if you don't even know your number, so how in the world are you even going to begin to think about how you're going to hit the number? But once you know the number, the next logical question is, how am I going to raise this income? Because it's in all possibility, in all probability, you are not hitting that number if you are just a 9 to 5 person. Okay, so so you can break it down now to, what if you sold a 10,000 naira product to lose 1.5 million? It means that if she sells a 10,000 naira product to 150 buyers every month, she's met her cost. So do you see now how monetization becomes a number? It becomes so easy. It's no longer a rat race. Making it is no longer vague, because you're now dealing with the game of numbers. You see how we reduce the vagueness, the lack of clarity around your money. See how we reduced it to a game of numbers. Because all Tolu needs to ask herself is, okay, my number is 1.5 million every month, which means if I have a 10,000 naira product, healthcare, skincare, digital product, whatever it is, course online, whatever it is, if she has a 10,000 naira product, knowledge product or something, all she needs is to sell to 150 buyers every month. It makes her work so easy. So now, instead of going around looking for opportunity, all she needs to look for is 150 buyers, and she has hit her monthly target. If she has a 50,000 naira course, for instance, she only needs 30 people every month. If she has a 150K coaching program, for instance, she only needs 10 clients to hit her number. Is this an eye-opener for somebody? Type yes, type yes. YouTube, TikTok, I want to know, is this an eye-opener for you? Did you really get this? So you see how you reduce your financial freedom journey to numbers. You know your numbers. When you know your number, it's easier to hit. It's easier to strategize for it than just doing it vaguely. Okay, so let me read your questions and then your comments in the different platforms, and then your aha moments. Okay, so type your aha moments, and then if you do have any question, it's also on today's topic, it's also a good time to do so. Okay. Yes, K Banks. The prison doors are open. What are you still doing inside? Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so let's see. K Banks says, my aha moment, your uniqueness is your value proposition. Absolutely. Anybody can copy what you do, but not anybody cannot copy your style, your uniqueness, your identity. Okay, keep it coming. TikTok. Okay, Ade, you are just joining. You can watch the replay. Ade is on TikTok. You're just joining. You can watch the replay on YouTube. There are over 500 teaching videos, coaching sessions on YouTube. You can catch up. Priska on Facebook says, my aha moment is the prison doors are open. What are you still doing inside? Absolutely. Absolutely. All these excuses we used to give are no longer tenable today. Okay. Who else? What's your aha moment for today? What's your unique insight? What is your takeaway? What are you going to implement? What are you going to do? Everyone. Okay. So let me check YouTube. Let me check YouTube. What was your aha moment today? What is your aha moment? Okay. Someone else is asking a different question on YouTube on stock market. Right. So there are lots of videos on the stock market that you can look up very, very easily. All right, to learn. So go to the channel and then look at the stock market playlist. Okay. Helen says, okay, aha moment is to number my monthly life cost, okay, to find that number. Absolutely, okay. Find your number. And I think that that's a very good place to land today's live coaching session. And so whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, keep showing up. And I'm going to see you at exactly same time, these same channels tomorrow. Same time tomorrow, same Zoom link, same live tomorrow. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Do not be afraid or open your mind to learn. Don't worry about what your background has been. What matters is the opportunities that lie ahead of you, especially in this monetization economy. In the monetization economy, if you put the strategies right, if you put the pillars together, you can literally wake up one morning and surprise yourself, with incredible financial success. All right. So whatever happens, keep showing up because you never know what's coming your way next. And I'll see you same time tomorrow.